Welcome to part 4 of the Android app development code lab. In this part, we're going to talk about app architecture, design patterns, project structure, and navigation. So let's see where we left off in part 3. In part 3, we had our main activity, which has a home screen composable. And in the home screen composable, if we look at the UI, we have a background on it and we have some text in the center. So now we're going to talk about project structure. So the first thing we need to do is think about our navigation and where it's going to go. So we could create a package called navigation under the UI folder or the package, and we can call it navigation here. Let's go ahead and create a menu item. So we're following along with this steps here, and in fact we need to start with menu item first. So menu item, and this class would have a ID, title, route, content description, and icon. So we can take this simple data class and add the menu item there, make the necessary imports. Now we need to add the screens that we have routes for. There's going to be 4 screens initially: the home screen, contact screen, notification screen, and the home detail screen. So we can go ahead and create a class for our screens, and this is going to be a sealed class. So a sealed class has the definitions of the subclasses at compile time. So here we already know that this class has 4 subclasses, and that's known at compile time. So there are no surprises at runtime with a class that inherits from screen. In this case, because it's sealed, we know the subclasses at compile time. So let's go ahead and create a nav graph, and we're going to use this structure. So let's create a file called navgraph. And under navgraph we have a nav host, and it has composables corresponding to each screen, but it also takes in a nav controller as the dependency. So because this is a composable, we can write it out as a composable, and we can use the live template. So let's call it nav graph. And in fact, it can be called setup nav graph. And in the constructor, we can pass in the nav controller. So now that it has a nav controller, we can create a nav host. So let's go ahead and use this nav host. So we need to import any missing imports. So we can hit Alt Enter, select the correct one, and under composable it seems to be complaining. So let's fix our dependencies. So we can go ahead and use the dependencies block that's in the blog post. So we go ahead and add this dependency block, and we can hit sync so that it resolves the missing imports. So now it's asking us to resolve this one. We resolve it to our, so we don't have a home screen right now, so we can wait for that. Actually it's here, so let's go ahead and import that. And under, well, there should be home screen, which is this one. And we need the home detail screen and the other two. So for the home detail screen, we can create a placeholder for now. And we need a composable again, so let's use the live template to create the home detail screen. We can pass in the nav controller and yeah, we can leave this for now, implement it later. For the home detail screen, we can import that. Then we need the contact screen. So for the contact screen, let's take a look if we have a placeholder. So the contact screen placeholder is under here. And in terms of the implementation, it's just a basic text. So if we look at the preview under build and refresh, so when we are asked to resolve between material and material 3, we can go ahead and pick the correct one based on which is the more recent one. So in this case, we have material theme. We can import material 3, and under font weight, import the color, import preview, import the nav controller, import the box, so in case it's complaining about the modifier, we need to fix the modifier import. So in this case, we have the right one. Let's check the remaining imports. We have alignment, we have fill max size, we have box, we have image, for image, we need the androidx.compose.foundation class, because those are the compose classes. For this one, we need the painter resource. We need the R import for resources. We need content scale. And we can replace banner bg2 with the resource we have here, which is banner portrait bg. And then we can go ahead and import the text. In this case, it's the composable text. This one should be resolving it's actually background portrait BG. We have clickable, which can be imported. We have screen, which can be imported. Which is this one. And then we have this one is resolving correctly. We have these ones which are not, so we need to see if our nav host has the right import. So let's take a look at nav host. So that should be Android X navigation compose nav host. And once that's done, this composable should be able to be imported. The nav controller should be of type nav host controller, because this is a nav host and not a nav. And notification screen is not implemented, so we can go ahead and implement that. And look at the notification import that's on here. And we also need a custom app bar in our UI navigation. So let's create that. And now that we have all the main classes, we should be good to implement. Actually, let's resolve the missing imports here. So because these imports should be the same as the ones for contact screen, once we have this one resolving, we can copy over the imports to the notification screen. So let's go ahead and do that. Copy these imports to the notification screen, like here. So this should import now. It's the composable. Contact screen is the composable. And now we have these ones resolving correctly. In the notification screen, it seems this banner is background portrait BG. So that should be resolving. Custom app bar is just a simple app bar. So we have an icon there under the top app bar. And if we don't get a preview here, we can actually set up a preview under here, and we can call it custom app bar preview, and under here we can call the custom app bar composable, and it probably needs a nav control, or it needs a navigation click handler. So let's pass a lambda in here, and let's see if this would work. So it's going to the screen which has custom app bar preview, custom app bar, takes in a lambda. So that should be fine. And then let's take a look at main activity. So main activity right now has a home screen under it, and in our blog we should have the my app extracted. So we have a my app composable which includes the drawer content, and that is under, we can add it as a separate screen, or we can have it under the main activity. So let's keep it under main activity for now, and we don't need the greeting, so we can get rid of that. So here we have our my app component, and we need to make the imports for that. So the drawer body is actually under our navigation drawer, which is not here, so we need to add it. So let's create a class called navigation drawer, and to implement the navigation drawer we need to look at the blog. So this is the navigation drawer and it has the drawer body. So let's copy that. And right now we have all the things we need here. So we can import drawer body, we can import menu item, and the icons import. Now the default home icon is one of the default icons in material. So is the email and the notifications icon. For our item click, we're calling the drawer state close function, And in our handlers, we have our custom app bar click handler, which opens the drawer here. So it's a pretty simple implementation. And let's import all the remaining missing imports. So once all the imports are done, our resolutions are working. So let's take a look by running the app, and we'll launch the running devices section and see if the app will run. If there are missing imports, it should complain now. So let's actually take a look at navigation drawer and import the missing imports. So we should always select the compose UI ones for these composable imports. Let's go ahead and import box. So we need to import the fill max width function. We can import the DP function, import the padding function. And the good part about this is if we need to jump into any of these to see, we can just hover over with the command clicking or hover over it, and we can see the function definition implementation. And let's import text function. Let's import the SP function. Let's import the image function, or the image composable from foundation. Import the painter resource, import R, import content scale. Here it needs to have the correct drawable resource, so we can add background, portrait BG. Content scale can be imported here. Column can be imported here. Here we need a drawable called unicorn white, and it's a variation on the drawable which is called unicorn. So we can copy the vector code for unicorn white from here. It's just a vector path. So under drawable we can create our new drawable resource and call it unicorn underscore white, and replace this with the vector path. And here we can then import or call unicorn white, and then import spacer, import width, and then import the lazy column, import items, which is also a compose function, import clickable, which is also a compose function. So if we hover over, we can see that it's a compose function. So let's rebuild again. And this time it should build. So it looks like we had the missing import problem there. And as we can see here, now our drawer is working and our navigation should be working as well. So if we click on contact, we go to the contact screen. If we click on notification, we are taken to the notification screen and back to home when we click on home. So thanks for watching. See you in the next part.